morning, everybody. Saturday, 6th of July. Quite a poignant day for me today, actually, because it links with, the memory of my sister, Julie. But, we're okay today. Just a bit, you always think a little bit more about it, don't you? But today we're going to have a look through Locket Lane. We've done this one, so many times. And every time I demonstrate, I tend to demonstrate possibly one of these three. So this one, sort of self-explanatory because you've got the shapes in there, but I think the trickiest one by far is this one, the manor, and it does take a little bit of artistic license, let's say, to put this together. So I thought if we cope with this one, we can do all of them. So this is the one I'm going to focus on. And of course, if you get your instructions, it does show you how to do all of these things, including the locket. But the most important thing is you have to number your stencil when you get it. There's quite a lot of things going on there, and it's not necessary that we use every single shape completely. So like this one, for example, number 60 in the manor house, we just use the bottom curve. It's one of those things that you take the shapes as to what you need at the time. So let's have a look at it then. As I say, the manor is the one that's at the back, and here we go, number 29, Locket Lane. And it shows, again, with instructions how to do it. But as I say, sometimes you've got to look through and think, let's just see how this goes. So, bit of a sketch first, and that would be exactly how I'd do it. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to come in with a pencil. I've got a little bit of paper here. It's just regular printer paper, so I'm not planning on doing it and completely making a masterpiece. It's about having a go and seeing where this sort of leads. So, okay. Let's go for it then. The actual start of it, you don't want to be starting too close to the bottom because there are steps in this image, so it's going to come up a little bit. And the first bit starts, and again, we're going to need to have a little bit of a treehouse further on. So have a look at the picture first before you start, so you sort of know where you're heading. So this is, I'm working on A5, well, it's going to be like landscapes, piece of A4, but I'm going to put my first bit, the roof in, which it says, look, draw about 2/3 of the way up the paper. So if I imagine that's sort of a third, about, I was about right, about there. And I'm going to put the roof in. Okay. So there it is, number 38. And from there, you've got to draw some vertical lines. So always use the edge of your paper, line up your stencil, see, like that. And then you know that your vertical lines are going to be vertical, as long as your paper's square, of course. But, if you're getting a commercial piece of paper, then usually it is. Okay. Don't matter about the size down there. We just need something to work to. So there we are, roof and sort of main centre body first. So then we're going to be looking at a couple of shapes. So it starts with number 39. Which here is this window. So let's find the centre of this first. That's going to help. So imagine centre. About there. And again, I'm going to use the bottom of my paper. I'm going to line that up. And I'm going to put a little bit of a dotted line down the middle just to help me, because I'm going to need them. So where was I? Number 39. It's sort of in the roof space. And I'm going to use the point. Let's just go in a little bit. Here we are. So I'm going to use the point, and I'm going to line it up with that sort of central vertical and put that one in, like so. Okay. The next one's quite a big window, and it seems quite crazy to put this in at this point, but it's necessary. It's number 58. And what I'm going to do, again, line that point up, you see, with my line there. And this goes into that window. Not too much, but enough. Okay. Lining it up. And in that window goes. So we can, as we're going, remove some lines. Just, you don't have to, but it just makes it a little bit cleaner so you can see where you're going. So here we go. Top window, bottom window. This is the largest window. And then underneath, we've got another one. It's sort of, let's step through 47. And then number 9 around it. So let's have a look. 47, here we go. And again, looking at the picture, this shows that this is a little bit further in. Let's have a look. Not quite halfway, because of course we've got to put a number around it. So there's that one. And again, let's lose those lines either side. And just bring number 9 in. See, it's going to fit around. So you can do that by eye and see where that works. All right. Okay, so we've got that going on so far. So let's just move out a touch. So we've got this. Then we've got to put these sort of curved ones on. These are going to be kind of 3D. So we've got this shape. See, look, number 52. And here, this is where I'm going to bring a pen in because I need to mark it at some point. And it's where do you angle this? You've got to kind of look at the piece to see where it's sort of going. So let's have a look. Let's imagine, actually. Let's put a line on it just for a moment. Let's think about halfway between here and here and put a mark. Okay, so that halfway point, let's line that up. Let's have a look. It's going to be slightly sort of similar heights. You just need something to find that you can work with. So you see, if I line that mark up with that point there at the edge of the window, you see, and draw that in. Like so. Let's get rid of those bits inside it. But what I do need to do is mark, let's have a look. Mark where that window is. I'm going to mark where the bottom of that one is. You see, so I've got some fixed points there that I can work with. I'm just going to put the lid back on my pen. And then when I turn it over, I can line that up again. Line that up with the window. Line that up there. And I'm going to get a similar curve. Okay, so in that goes, like so. Now the next couple of steps, it's sort of trying to get you to use a part of a shape to do some curves. So it's asking you to look at number 60 and use the bottom. See, you've got 2 curves here. You've got a shallow one and quite a deep one. So the shallower one is what it's suggesting to use to give you that bottom shape. But do you know what? I'm not going to sort of worry about too much. I'm going to do that freehand. And how would I do that? I'm going to put a little bit of a fake vertical down. So let's do that with this one too. And then put this line in first. Okay? Doesn't have to be as sort of wide and curved as this one. But just sort of getting that in as a starting point. So you can use the stencils, but I think sometimes having that little bit of freehand just does just as good a job, you see? Okay, so then from there, if I turn it this way, I can put a bit of a curve in here, and a bit of a curve in here, and that solves the problem. That sorts it out straight away. So that's all done and sorted. Okay, I think maybe looking at the windows now, if I look at my windows compared to this one, you see this is a little bit further up, but we'll see how it goes. I can always change that shape slightly if I want to. So again, you get that creative license a little bit going on there. Let's pull those back in, like so. Down and around. Okay, so there's that little bit. That's probably the trickiest bit to do, if I'm honest. It's just getting those sort of looking a little bit more three-dimensional. So if I turn around again, let's just zoom in a bit more. And I'm going to put myself a line slightly above. See, coming out a bit. Same on this one, like that. Okay, and let's draw the vertical down. Gives it a little bit of a sort of a balcony. And then here, I'm going to put a line there. And here, a line there. All right, that gives me that little bit. So from there, I can come in. I'm going to bring this window back to the foreground. Okay, so let's put that back in. And then I'm going to, before I do anything, yeah, let's have a look. I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. It's just trying to work out what works for the best, you know. Let's bring out this one. I'm going to put in another line here that can give myself a roof on the top of that one. See? Line there, a line there. Let's get rid of those shapes now. Those shapes. So there's my roof and the top there. Let's get rid of those bits because we want to see the full window. All right, so that's sort of sitting now behind. We've got that in the front. There you go. So it needs a little bit of a ledge underneath this window as well. And again, you can do it with the stencil, or a straight edge, like a ruler, or you can do that freehand. Just going to put that in. It gives me that bit there. And we go. So we need to sort of shape the roof a little bit now, and we've got to put something underneath these. So let's do the tree trunks first. And you've got 3 different size tree trunks here. You've got the very small one, 34 and 42. 42 is going to be the one I'm using. And I'm going to sort of, again, do it by eye, or if you need to, put yourself a little bit of a vertical in, because that's sort of the centre of your roof bit there. And that's where you're going to sit it. You see, it's sort of in the middle. There we go. And put that in place. Yeah, again, I'm just going to get rid of those bits in the middle and the base. So that's my first little tree trunk. So to get this here, again, I'm going to line my stencil up with the edge. And you see where I've got that position now? I'm going to put that horizontal in across there, just to give me, you know, a flat space, so to speak. All right. And along here, again, let's find that middle. And I'm going to put that line in again. That one goes in there. Okay, so that's that bit done. So looking at the space that I've got left here, there's not much to get a set of steps in. And this is something that you consider. Although I've put it 2/3 up, you think, oh, am I going to do it or not? So you can shorten these. And that just means, let's bring it up a little bit and replace that line there and there. So I've still got the same shape. I've just made it a little bit shorter. So if you think, oh, what, I've got to start all over again. You haven't. Just have a look at it. And again, that's like artistic license coming in, and make them just a tad shorter. Then you've got that to go. So I'm going to put the rest of the house in now, the rest of the sort of base. They sort of do line up straight, but again, you can lift it a bit and have it slightly further on if you want. But I'm going with the instructions in that case and putting that one in place. So then we've got some windows and doors to do. And this is sort of plain sailing because you've got numbers. So our first one, we're on step 12 now, and it says door in each of the tree trunks, shape number 23. So here we go, 23 is around here somewhere. There you go. So because I've made it a bit shorter, you see, it's now only just fitting in. So you could go with that, or you could use something a bit smaller. So we could go with 22 there. And one there as well. Okay. And we could use that same one for the windows, but I'm going to put the door in first. And doorway, it suggests, let's have a look, 37 here. So just as I've shortened the tree trunks, I can shorten the doorway, see? So I can put it in where I want it, however tall I want it. Let's come down a little bit. And see, I'm just going to draw in that bit there. And then using the same as I used for the doors on the trunk for the windows. And again, if you want your windows to be level, I'm going to use the edge here, line it up, put the ledge in there, and then in we go with that shape. So there you go, I've got the 2 windows, the door in the middle. So smaller doorway, it sort of suggests, let's have a look, it's number, what number does it say there? So I'm still on step 12, so small keyhole on the front door, shape number 43. So there's our keyhole, number 43. Okay. Again, you don't have to use this, you can do your own sort of doorway. And then I'm going to bring number 21 in, and that's going to help give me a little bit of a door frame. Okay. Windows, it sort of doesn't suggest doing anything with the windows yet, but you can do that whenever you like. We know that we're going to need a little bit of a ledge in there, so you could come ahead and put that in if you want to. It gives you that kind of thing So far we've got that middle section. It's looking pretty good. Now it's sort of just a bit of courage here, because we're going to do a little bit of freehand. So we need to have a bit of a trunk coming up here. So what I'm going to do is take it from about here and put a little bit of a curve in. I'm going to imagine doing it. See, starting to imagine doing it. I've got some lines going in. Once you're comfortable, put your line in. Same sort of thing here. So from here, and I want it to go, you know, up to there. See, it's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. So there, we want to sort of have a flat piece. So let's do the other one on this side first. So let's go from about here. It's not going to be as tall. In we go. And again, a little bit wider here, a little bit narrower there. So you've got a starting point. See? And in you go. See, this is why this one is, I would say, do this one last after you've got used to the stencil and you've done the other houses. I'm going to put like a little line on there. See, look, I've lined it up here and I've got a nice horizontal line. Same with this one, lined it up, horizontal line. Okay, so that gives me my sort of my tree trunks. And if we have a look at where we're at so far, here we go. Step 14. See, this is the step I've just done. I've got my windows and my doors in, and I've got a little cross in there. I'm not worried about that. But I've also got this little oval shape, and I've got to curve the roof a little bit. So sometimes you'll get some of these instructions and it gives you quite a little bit more to sort of work to. So just make sure, even if you've got to tick it off with a pencil as you go along, and so you make sure that you're not missing anything out. So here we go. Here's a little bit of an oval window. Again, it's going just slightly behind there. And I do kind of have a cross shape in there. So that's that bit done. And then at the top, curves. Okay, so I'm going to start here and aim here, but it's going to slightly curve as I'm going. See? Same on this one. Again, you could use the stencil and find a suitable curve in there that would help you with that. And it wants a little bobble on the end. And again, you can use all sorts of shapes. You see this one though? This one's a little bit too wide. So it needs to be a little bit smaller to fit in there. And although the instructions just give you one, sometimes it's nice to look around, isn't it? Think, right, what do I need? What about this one? You see how that fits? We could put that directly on top and you've got that lovely shape there. And then of course we can remove those lines there. It just changes the shape of that roof line a little bit. Okay. All right, so far so good. So let's move on then. We're now into the next page. Let's have a little look here. So number 15, we've done this. You see there, we've got to bring that in a little bit. So it's come out and it's coming in a bit just to shape that top. We'll do that in a moment. But then here, look, we're starting to create these little tree houses. So number 16 talks about using 47 and 9. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's get this bit in. So from there, look, down, from there, down, gives us that shape, changes it a little bit. There you go. So we can remove those. And we have got an extra line in there now. Let's put that in. Okay. So let's look at these little houses. So same sort of thing again that we did for this original one here, 9 and 47. So let's put this one in. There's number 9. And, oh, sorry, 47 rather. Okay. And then the next bit, we're not going to use the whole shape. We're going to use this for the roof. Okay. So if I put the other one in, all right, first bit's first to there. I am sort of following the instructions loosely, but it's, you know, you've got those there. So sort of seeing how I draw it maybe would help just a little bit to give you a little bit of an insight. So you see, let's line this up and this up here. Same with this one, see? You could, again, use your stencil for that to give you your straights. Join that, see, there's your roof space. Same there. And same there. And it does as well in the image show that you've got a thin line down there. And a thin line down there. Same with this one. Thin line. And thin line. Okay. So far it's looking so good. Okay. Little doorways inside there. So number 17, it suggests extend the lines. We've already done all of that. Same with the building of the tree. And adding 2 more rooms using shapes. Oh, we've got that. We'll come to that in a little bit. Let's do the windows in here first. Oh, Maureen, hi there. I know this is one of those. There's so many shapes on it. And we do use it for the little toadstool house and the pumpkin house a lot. But we've never quite really done, I think, this one. See, little doorways. So that sort of does that for us. And now on the sides, down here, we've got a couple more little sort of shapes. And it talks about that quite a lot. So let's have a look. It sort of says, again, same with the building under the tree. During the limes, we've done that over the top. We're going to do the same with the building. Drawing some thinner branches. So here we go. Let's use one of the smaller tree trunks. As I say, we've got 3 of them. So let's have a look. Do I want this one? Looking at the picture, I think not. It's a bit tall. But again, we know how to make that a bit shorter. But we have got one here that we can do it with. And it sort of sits behind. So let's put that in. You see? Behind. And then similar on this side. Same one, look. Now, the other thing, are you going to have it behind the tree trunk or in front? So it's behind the house there, but in front of the tree trunk there. You see, this is where you start to build that bit of depth going on. And it does sort of look at a different shape, sort of top here. We've got these curves. So let's have a look at those. We could put them, and that looks a little bit big, maybe that one. And again, the instructions suggest which one to use, but I'm trying to give you a little bit of a pointer as to how you can choose to do your own shapes. See, there we go, that one in there, and then this one is going to sit on there. So we've got that there. Okay, let's just draw that one down a bit more. All right, so we've got that all going on. Let's have a little look at this now. So here we are, look. We're back here, look. So we've done these little shapes. Got little doors to go in. And moving on, oh, before we move on, we've got all these lines. I'm going to come to those in a minute. And then it looks at doing, see, little ledges and things like that. And then we're into the steps. So, okay, let's put our little doorways in here. And again, you can choose. You can pick and choose what you like. See that one, you might think, it's a bit big. Why not put number 40 in? That's not in the instructions, but I kind of like it. You've got something different there, see? All right, yeah. All right, yeah, just a quick mention, I'm not on Hobby Maker next week. It was, I should have been, but it was moved to the 1st of July, and I'd not rubbed it out in my diary. So actually, you've got a little bit of freedom from me. I'm not back in there till the 27th. And then I'm on Sewing Street on the 28th. So, yeah, that was nice. It gives me time to do a little bit more design work and things. And, of course, getting ready for classes next week without all the pressure of the shows. So I do apologise, everybody. We will be doing our tile as usual on Tuesday. So, yeah, just don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay. So, you see, so far now we've got most of the sort of shapes in, but we need some trees in the background, and how do we do that? Instead of holding it here, hold it here, okay? So, let's have a look. Now, I'm going to follow the picture as much as I can. It's got a bit of a guide coming off here. See how it's a little bit wavy? So we work our way around it. Yeah, we've got one there. We've got one sort of coming off here. You see? These sort of, let's have one sort of a little bit thicker there. Thank you, Chris. It's just me having a daft moment and forgetting to take it out my diary. We moved it to the 1st of July, see, so I could do the 8 o'clock show. And then I never removed it out of my diary, so yeah. Okay. You do, Maureen, you do. Vicky, you're not going bonkers? It's me. It's me. There you are. See, so you can get carried away. You could do as much or as little of this as you like. That's how one going across there, see, and then up there. And again, it's giving sort of depth, isn't it, to the piece as you work your way around it. Okay, so we've got kind of these lines coming off it. A couple, you know, maybe sort of up here as well, but notice they're so much smaller. Oh, there you go. As we work our way around. Okay, we want one to be kind of flat, because if you want to put a swing on, things like that. Okay, so let's have a look at the steps leading up. And the first things first is we want to sort of have, let's have a little bit of a line. So I'm going to bring it down like I've already got one here. And the bottom of my steps are going to be here. So let's put that line in. So again, I'm going to use my stencil, line it up with the edge of the page. Rose, that's a good question. Being that we've got them and I've made you wait a long time, I will put the dark pencils in my shop at some point. Hopefully this weekend. So bear with me. I'll try and get it done after this event. I'll switch my laptop up and get on with it. So if you want the coloured pencils, they'll be on there. Okay. So see, I put a little mark either side because I want to put a step in. I want to make it a bit wider there. And in we go with that there. Like so. Okay. So from there, I'm going to sort of draw out a bit of a line. Now, let's have a look. Where is it going to go? Sort of at an angle. Maybe to there. So if I actually then mark that again with a pen and put that one in there. See, so I've got the same distance on either side. My pen away. And then from the edge of that there, I'm going to mark in that there. See? You could go even wider if you wanted to, but it gives you an idea. So from there then, let's have a look. We've got, I'm going to do this sort of freehand, but again, you can use the stencil to help you with this. So I've definitely got that line in there. So I'm going to put a line in here. And I'm going to put a line in here. Okay, so I've got a couple of steps there. Now, just sort of, you can go under or above. Let's go underneath. I'm going to do a thin line. And same there, thin line. See? So I've got that. All right, maybe I should have used a straight edge. It's not as, with it being the manor house, it does sort of request that things are slightly more in order. Okay. Okay. So if I put a line there, and a line there, and one there, and one there, see? So this bit now joins to here. This bit joins to here. And this bit comes out there. All right. It just means that you're working within a structure there, rather than getting a bit carried away with where your steps are going to go. You see, you've got that little step there. I think what I am going to do is put a little, a real thin line across the top there. And again, see this angle? I'm going to put that angle in there. See, so it just gives it a little bit more. Of course, you wouldn't see the doorway underneath there. That's where it's going. Okay. So there we go. We've got our sort of our building, and then we've got our steps going down to it. Yeah. Okay. So we then need some little lights and things going on. So what we can do here is use those tree trunk shapes again, and smallest one, of course. So I'm going to sort of work it. I'm going to extend that bottom step a little bit, I think. Rose, this is literally a sketch, so I'm just using my regular printer paper. I'm not using anything crazy, because I think this one you need to have a practice before you just go in with it. it's got a little bit of artistic license on this one. So you need to be aware of what shapes and where it's going. So that's why I'm just using my basic papers. Okay. So you see, I've just extended that bit, because what I want to do is bring that tree trunk back over and put one here on the bottom of this step. Okay, like that. Let's get rid of everything behind it. And I'm going to put one on the other side as well. Again, get rid of that line underneath. So you see, so you've got these two pillars at the front. And then on the top of it, you can decide what shape you're going to use, because it's going to be sort of lights. So again, let's have a look at our shapes. We could use the oval shapes, which is what is in the actual picture. Here we go, look. There they are. Or you think, do you know what, actually I might try something different. You might want to use that little shape, or you could come in and bring in that shape. And then we've got smaller ones, you see. So whatever, little circles even, whatever works for you. So let's have a look. I'm going to come in with number 31. It's sort of not quite circle, but not quite oval as well. Let's get rid of what's behind it and put that in. You see? Something similar on this side as well. So although the instructions do give you the numbers and they're there as guidance, you know, you can do your own thing with it. You don't have to follow it exactly. So if I turn the page, there's going to be more of these, because there's quite a few going up. But again, you don't have to put them in. But let me show you how. So this is going to sit slightly behind that last one. Imagine sort of halfway. Rose, I'm going to measure it actually. Have I got my ruler here? I'm sure I've got a ruler or something somewhere. I'll actually measure the finished picture so you can see what it is. So this is, I'm working on a piece of A4, but I've got it landscape. So again, I'm going to do the same. I said, see, I'm at the top of the step there. Imagine sort of halfway between that. Let's get rid of those bits. Let's put that in. There we go. Let's put that tree back in. So you see how they sit behind, so they're sort of following up the steps. And again, whichever shape you want to use. I used 31. I'm going to put 31 on there. And 31 on there. See? Let's just get rid of those bits behind. So you could have a whole garden of those. And if you've got the Locket Lane Tangling Colouring book, you'll notice that this house is in there, but it's got a different garden, a different layout. So that's fine. But I am trying to put on sizes of paper and cardstock wise when I'm doing stencils now. But this one was done before I was doing that. So I know it's a bit tricky. Okay. There we go. So I'm not going to do another one. You can put another one on that step, but I think that's probably enough. And it works for me. So, okay, next little bit then. We need to put a little bit of detail in here now. Okay, so let's go to the roof space. And I'm going to put a little ledge in there, look, like so. Just as we did before. And then here I want to sort of split it. Let's have a look. Split it in half. Half again, half again. Okay, and then here I'm going to put in, let's have a look, sort of little curved roof tiles, like so. Now this one, of course, is going to be slightly offset from that one, and that one. And this is, of course, why we do it all in pencil, because when you start adding all these little details in, it means that you can go outside the shape if you need to. So I'm going to put one there, look. One there. See, it's just coming out a little bit. One in there. And around. Out there. That gives us our little roof terrace kind of thing. While we're up here looking at this, let's look. Oh dear, I always sneeze when I'm in my craft room. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that on the other side. Look, splitting it, because I'm going to come in and create like little zigzags. It gives me my tiles on the roof there. Same again, look, split that and into 2 roof tiles. Same with this one. Okay, so that gives me that going on there. And then we need this kind of a design as well going on across here, but because these are angled, we've got to look at the angle we've got there. Let's go for 3 on this one. Well, actually, let's go for splitting it in the middle and then 3 here, because this part's not all going to be roof, see, that's going to be sort of, let's do the same here, look. 3, you see? And then follow the curves slightly as we put them in. Same with that. Okay. Wendy, that's a good point, absolutely. Yeah. In there. I say I have started putting measurements on, so we'll measure this one in a minute. Okay, so you see you've got partly roof space, because what you can do if you wanted to, you can leave that completely blank, or you could bring in another little window if you wanted to. You see how that just sort of gives it a little bit of something there. All right, so that's that bit. Now here, whilst I'm in the windows, this is going to have 6 window panes, like so. So put my lines in, and then let's draw in that first one. See, I always do them sort of the vertical kind of things first. Put that in. See, like that. And then turn it round and put those ones in. Okay. Alright, that gives me my window panes. And same at the top here. Let's have a look. See, I'm moving from one bit to the other now, because it's nice to sort of think, right, let's build it up as we go. So I'm going to put a little window in here. And again, you could use the stencils. But sometimes you just think, you know what, I'm just going to go a little bit freehand. I've got this. I can do it. Maureen, they could be birdhouses. Absolutely. They might be big birds. But you could do this smaller if you wanted to. And again, let's put 4 in there. A little ledge, see? And same on this one. And this is where you can start to play with it, isn't it? And you could make it your own little house. Do what you want to do with it. Little door there. Put a little frame round it. Same kind of thing here. Little frame round it. See, I've got the door on the left, the handle there, put on the right there. So you've got that kind of thing going on. Looks kind of nice. And then let's have a look. We've got the window pane in. Let's put one in the doorway as well. They're all large birds. We could have the odd albatross living in Locket Lane, couldn't we? Yeah. It could be anything you want it to be. So again, let's put little window panes in there. And something sort of similar there. I'm going to go with 4 there. So you always put the cross in and then draw your lines just shy on either side of it. Oh, flamingos. Absolutely. That would be awesome. Okay. And little windows in there. See how it's sort of coming to life as you put these little bits and pieces in. So here I've got sort of wobbly lines to sort of represent a little bit of wood and a doorway there. And same on this one. See how we work that and into there. So that's that little bit done. And we've got a little bit of a design feature going on here as well. Let's have a look at this. So it's going to sort of come rounded down here and in there. So you can change that shape however you want it to be. And then let's put another one here and here. See, I've left a bit of a gap. I'm going to come down a bit, following the shape. Oh, hi there, everybody. It's nice to see some new and some regular people. And hi, Christine. I know sometimes we do sort of lose our... I still don't lose our way. You just want to try something different. Or you just need a break. You can come back anytime. There's no rush. And these things you can, jump into if you want to. I mean, today we're focusing on the most... I would say it is a bit tricky in places. It's the trickiest of the Locket lane. But having said that, we're going through it step by step, and we've looked at these little bits as we go. So hopefully it's taken away any of that kind of worrying issue to see where you're taking it and things. Okay, it needs a little door handle there and there. And again, you could put little houses in here if you wanted to. You could have little mouse holes kind of thing. See, it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. So let's have one sort of peeking in there. Okay. So extra decoration and things comes within having lines and dots and all that kind of thing. So, for example, here it's like start in the middle, lines and dots and dashes. Each one's different. But, I wouldn't usually put all these in on a sketch. I would probably say, right, I know what I'm doing there, and this is what would come on in pen. But you can get the idea of how it works. You see? Dots and dashes. If you find that they're getting a bit too samey, start at the bottom and go up. See how it works? So if I just do this one side, you can get the hang of that. It does a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, it's amazing what you can see in it. Yeah, it just wants some floppy ears. All right, so the little doorways here, it's got some little decorations coming around the outside here, some little pot bubbles like that. Let's go in a little bit. And then an extra line around the outside, like so. And then let's have a look. We've got something similar on the top. It's nice to have something, I say similar, cohesive, so it looks like it's all the same house. All right. And then this bit here, we need a bit of brickwork. Okay, let's have a look then. So we've got that in. So I've only sort of done half of that. So if I turn it this way, and let's put some lines in. Not too narrow, because it's quite an old manor house, so we want bigger bricks kind of thing. You can see. Let's get rid of that vertical line, because our bricks are going to be slightly bigger, but not necessarily in order. See, sort of all piggledy. Let's go in. So you can leave them quite straight like this, or you can slightly round them off. But you don't need to do all of them. It'll just be a few, because we just want the hint that there's some brickwork there. See? And you could also, I know we've left this, but you could put like a keystone in there, and you could bring the bits down. If you got Christmas close, if you had a look at the manor house doorway, it's slightly different to the one we're doing here, so you can go back and have a look at that and mix that one in. Let's put a little bit of a shadow in that doorway. Okay. Oh, Joe, yeah, a little that would be amazing, a little teapot out of it. All right. So, of course, we'd thicken up some of these trees. And, of course, if you wanted to, you could add flowers all over them. Or you could add, usually if you're doing lots of leaves, you could add little clouds. See? Look like clouds. Or sheep without the legs. You see? And put some of those in. That would actually break up it and stop it from looking as though it was sort of winterish. Let's take a bit of that out, see? And it would look slightly more summery. Let's have that coming out a bit more there, see? So you've got it You never sort of have to draw every single individual flower. You see how that works? A little bit like the toadstool, the exotic mushrooms house. You've got that kind of thing going on. So that gives you that. And then, of course, the last thing is it's got some hanging bubbles or little lights and things. So that's where you need your vertical lines. You see? And you want it sort of coming off all of those, like so. And then you have got some shapes there. We've got really small ones, slightly larger. It depends where you want them. Yeah. Let's put the smaller one in there. So you've got all those things coming off those tree lines. Now, if you wanted to do a swing, there is instructions for a swing in one of the other houses, but you need to have sort of quite a horizontal-ish kind of twig, and it's got to be substantial enough that you could hang something off it. There's my one vertical, there's my other vertical, and you could put your rectangle there. See, so you've got a swing. Or if you wanted to, you could have, let's take that off, one line, and you could bring in, let's have a look, one of the larger shapes. And let's put a frame inside that. There you go, see that goes underneath, so you could have a bit of a rope swing. So let's put some little lines inside it, just to give it a bit of a tie effect, some little lines, if you wanted to. And then see a little bit of grass, kind of whatever you want to do there. So yeah, it still is my finger. I still can't feel the top of it. It feels like it's still got anaesthetic in it. So like here, this is where my tendon's been cut. And then, so I can't really feel the top there. And then here just feels like it's under anaesthetic. So it's still got that kind of stingy feel. But it's fine. It's usable. Okay. All right. So you see how you've got those extra little bits and pieces going on there. So yeah, it looks tricky, it looks a bit scary, that one, but it's not as bad as you think. It really isn't. And it gives you a little bit of artistic license. So looking at it, it has taken up quite a bit more of an A4 piece of paper. And I'm just wondering if I actually brought my ruler up, or is it still downstairs? I'm working on different bits and pieces. Just give me 1 second, see if I can find a tape measure. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think up here you can never find what you need. It's one of those things. Fantastic craft room, but never find anything in it. Okay, so I can give you inches. I've got a ruler here, if that helps. Let's have a look. So, tall-wise, here we go. So let's go from the tallest. That is, the actual drawing is 7 inches. So I say you would need at least, you see, I say that's an A4 piece. So you'd need at least, let's have a look, 8.5 inches of paper this way. And then going this way, sorry it's in inches everybody, I can't find me the ruler. This way it's extended itself to 7. So it's about a 7 by 7 inch square, just to give you that. But and it's up to you. If you wanted to sort of have it a little bit narrower, you could bring these in a bit closer. You don't have to put the steps in. You could take the steps off and just have it as the house like this. So there's different ways around of doing it. So if you think that that's going to be about a 7 by 7 inch square piece of cardstock, so it'll just fit on an 8 by 8 card, depending on what you do with it, that will give you a little bit of an idea. So okay, I hope that that's helped. I say that is the trickiest one in the book to do, but by looking at it today, hopefully I've given you some little ideas and little bits where you can extend it. And once you've drawn it once and you've tried it, I say please try it first, don't go straight into your cardstock. This is literally a piece of printer paper. that I've sketched that out on. And once you get the idea, you think, well, okay, now I like that, and I could move that in, and I could change the steps a little bit. Gives you some sort of headings, doesn't it? You could even have extra little poles here, and you could have little curves coming off it to put little lights on. But whatever you want to do with it, it's yours then. So enjoy this one. Give it a go. You know, if you've got the stencil, give it a go. Get it out and have a look at it. And just before we go, that is the Locket Lane stencil for papercraft, which is this one here. Not to say you can't use it on fabrics, but if you have also got this one, the Locket Lane for applique, it doesn't mean that it's just purely for applique. What it does mean, see, look, I've drawn one there on fabric. You've got all the information for how to do it applique-wise, but if we look at this compared to the stencil in the Locket Lane, let me just turn that over so you got and I do a comparison. See, you've got this shape here, but you've also got it here, and look at the difference in size. So if you wanted to do something that was a larger piece, or maybe you have a complete village, you've got a really large one of the exotic mushrooms. You've also got those tree trunks that we were doing earlier. There's the pumpkin house. There's the little house that you do. So if I bring that in for this one, and then for this one, of course, you've got your extra shapes there. So if you wanted to go bigger and add more in, then you don't have to have that just purely for applique. It's the same shapes, they're just a lot bigger. So whatever you want to do with it. But of course, there it is. Look, there's the pumpkin house drawn in fabric, ready to go. Always with a little bit of freezer paper on the back. It gives it a bit of structure. But you can do whatever you want to do. Yeah, Wendy, it works, doesn't it? So you know you don't need to have it just for paper, or just for fabric. Equally, you could use this and work with it on fabric as well. So whatever works for you. So okay, I hope that, as I say, I hope that's helped, giving you some info. And there's our Locket Lane Manor House. Depends what you want to do with it now and how you go with it. I'd love to see what you do with it when you've had a go. So please post some lovely pictures, and we'll compare notes. Okay. I suppose the only thing I've not done is added some little leaves in, but you can see there adding a bit more foliage and little leaves from all over the place. You can add that and build it as you go. So okay, with that all done and sorted, off you go. Go and have a go. Go and see what you can do with it. And I will catch you on Tuesday for our tile at the regular time, regular day. It's just me having a daft moment. But yeah, I will see you then. Have a good one, everybody, and see you soon. Bye.